face the front. Show me you can sit like second graders, ready to learn. Okie dokie, readers. How are you guys?
Good.
I see some friends. I would like to give some shout outs. I'd like to say hello to Araya. And I'd like to say hello to Maddie Zaya. She's sitting so nicely. And I'd like to say hello to Little Rabbit. And I'd like to say hello to Katie Kazoo. And I'd like to say hello to Herbie. And Fly Guy. And Pete the Cat. And Biscuit. All of our friends that have come. Oh my goodness, Araya has so many notes. They're falling out. I'd like to say a big hello to all of our friends that have joined us for Reader's Workshop. So, our characters that I just mentioned are obviously some not in our class. Some are found in our
Books.
some are found in our books. And did you know that when you read lots of books, sometimes those books start to feel like your friends, right? Like, have you ever been thinking about a book character and like caught yourself and remembered that like you haven't met them in real life? Or have you ever been thinking about a book character? Harley, I'm over here. Hey, I'm over here. Turn your body. Thank you. Have you ever been thinking about a book character and thought to yourself, wouldn't it be so cool to meet them in real life? When Miss Coleman was growing up, I was reading a series, and there was this character in the book called Christy. Her name was Christy Miller, and I was obsessed with that book series. And when I was reading it, I just kept thinking when I was growing up, like, she seems like the best friend. Like, I just want to meet her in real life because I have read about her for so long. I've read so many books with her in it. Have you ever felt that way? Am I the only one? Riley's felt that way? Yeah, you guys, virtual friends, have you guys ever felt that way? Like, you've read so many books about a character that you feel like you know them. And when you feel like you know them, it kind of feels like you're an expert on those characters, right? An expert means that you get to do a special kind of thinking when you think about those characters. So, today, friends, I want to teach you that when you are an expert on a character, just like all of you are, you can understand them like you understand your best friend. I want to tell you guys a story, right? So, when you understand your best friend, do you have to think really hard to like understand why they do something or maybe why they feel the way that they feel about something? Do you have to think about that, or do you feel like you just kind of know because they're your best friend? Yeah, I want you guys to close your eyes and think of your best friend right now. Or think of a really, really good friend that you have. Maybe it's a sibling, maybe it's your neighbor, maybe they're in this class. Close your eyes, Harley. Are you listening? And I want you to be thinking about maybe a time where you've noticed that your best friend's having a tough day. Maybe you've noticed that like they're just really sad. I want you to think about a time like that. Or maybe think about a time where you've seen your best friend like super happy. And you don't even have to ask them why they're happy. You don't even have to ask why they're happy. You just know because they're your best friend and you know what makes them happy. Okay, open your eyes. You know what I was thinking about? I was thinking about last night, actually. And guess what I was doing? I was on FaceTime with my best friend. She doesn't live next to me. So when we talk most of the time, we don't get to see each other in person. We FaceTime. And guess what? When she popped up on FaceTime, I could see on her face that she was having a tough day. And she didn't even have to tell me that she was having a tough day. I just knew because I'm her best friend and I've known her for like 10 years. And I could just tell that she was having a really, really tough day. And our characters in our reading are a lot like that. When we read about certain characters, we get to know them that well. We know maybe when they're having a bad day or how they're feeling about something or how they're going to react to a situation. So we're going to do some similar work to that in thinking about our best friends in our books today. Madison, can you scoot over a bit, please, so you're not bumping the iPad? Thank you. let's look at our book, Frog and Toad here. And I'm going to open up to the story that we were reading about called The Kite. Oops. Let me find it here. We were reading a story called The Kite. And can anybody remind me what was happening in this story? What was happening in this story, Sarah?
The frog kept saying that Toad could not do it. Toad kept giving up. And he couldn't fly the kite, but the frog tried to help him.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, Toad just kept saying, this is useless, right? I can't do this. And Frog, you're right, was trying to help him. So we're going to pick back up on this page here and follow along with me as I read. Said, we must make a second try, said Frog. Wave the kite over your head. Perhaps that will make it fly. Todd ran back across the meadow. He waved the kite over his head. The kite went up in the air and then fell with a thud. What a joke, said the robins. That kite will never get off the ground. Toad ran back to Frog. This kite is a joke, he said. It will never get off the ground. We have to make a third try, said Frog. Wave the kite over your head and jump up and down. Perhaps that will make it fly. Toad ran across the meadow again. He waved the kite over his head. He jumped up and down. The kite went up in the air and crashed down in the grass. That kite is junk, said the robins. Throw it away and go home. Toad ran back to Frog. This kite is junk, he said. I think we should throw it away and go home. Toad, said Frog. We need one more try. Wave the kite over your head. Jump up and down and shout, up, kite, up. Toad ran across the meadow. He waved the kite over his head. He jumped up and down. He shouted, up, kite, up. The kite flew into the air. It climbed higher and higher. Okay, so let's talk about what just happened. Kind of like what Sarah was saying, right? So Toad was the one that kept saying what? What was Toad thinking and saying the whole time? Camden, what was Toad thinking and saying?
This kite is never going to work because that was a robin for telling him.
Yeah, that's a good point. The robins even were kind of influencing Toad's thinking a little bit, right? Maybe they were discouraging him a bit. What was Frog saying the whole time? What was Frog saying the whole time?
Like, don't give up.
Yeah, don't give up. So let's ask a big question now. Okay, are you ready? I want you to ask a big question. And that question is one word. Are you ready to hear it? I want you to ask yourself, why? When you are reading and you see your character making a choice or a decision, I want you to ask yourself, why? Why do you think they're thinking this? Or why do you think they're making that choice? Why do they feel that way? Let's talk about Toad. Why do you think he was so discouraged? Why do you think he kept saying, this will never get off the ground? Riley?
Because of robins.
You think so? Maybe he was like kind of listening too much to what the robins were saying. Yeah, so do you think maybe Toad cares a lot about what other people think about him? Yeah, probably. Let's ask ourselves the big question about Frog. Why do you think Frog was so determined? Why do you think he kept saying, no, give it another shot, Christian?
Since he didn't want Frog's dream to go down in the water or the drain.
I love how you said he didn't want his friend's dream to go down, right? And we've learned about Frog. Do we think Frog's a good friend?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. I would say he's a pretty good friend. He's been there, right, to help Toad. And Frog seems pretty determined to me. So, friends, it's not just enough for us to think about what we're collecting from our characters. We're not just going to collect information anymore. now we are gonna add another step. And this next step says what? Who can read this for me? Who can read this for me? Christian?
Think about what characters say and do.
Yeah, think about what your characters say and do. So over here I have this character's giving this character a flower, and this character is saying what?
Go away.
Go away.
Why?
Why? Why is that character saying go away? Well, we don't know because we haven't met these characters before. But imagine these were the characters you were reading in your book. I want you to be doing that extra step of not just gaining information about that character, but doing the expert work of asking why, okay? So today and every day, readers, when you are reading in your series books, I want you to not just collect information about your main character, not just pay attention to how they're responding to the problems, not just noticing the things that are the same across your series, but now we're going to add the next step of thinking about why they're saying and doing what they're saying and doing, right? So that you can get to know your characters like they are your best friends, okay? Virtual friends, do you think you guys are ready to try this with us today too? Do you think you guys are ready to try this?
Yeah.
Okay, we are going to spend some time in your series books today. If you need to switch out your book with a partner, you can do that, and we'll see if we have some time at the end so that we can meet and chat with our partners. Capiche?
Goodbye.
Okie dokie, when I call your name, find your good reading spot. Can you stop our video for me? Bye, virtual friends.